So quick video, taking advantage of the amazing weather here in Virginia. Yesterday and especially today, and I think for the next like 7-8 days, it was like 78 degrees today, and tonight's like 59. Right now it's currently 65, but definitely taking advantage of the weather. Part of the reason why I haven't really worked on this thing too much is because it's just been way too hot. You know what I mean? So it's not fun working in the heat, even though the garage is cooler, or my shop is cooler, than the outside. It still just sucks. So, but anyway, passenger side is done as far as welding goes. I just need to clean up some of the welds and paint it, but for now that's done. And I'm working on the driver's side now finally. So I cut out all the bad stuff. You can see I cut a little bit right here. This side is not nearly as bad as the back of the passenger side. The back of the passenger side was completely rotten over here. It was just really, really bad. This side just had a little piece right here. The back here is just some surface rust. There's nothing bad. It's good. And back here is good as well. I cut out this little channel right here on the C channel, or sorry, on the floorboard support, just like I did on that side. And the reason why is because there's just too much chunky rust inside of here for me to blow with my mouth, for example. I don't have an air compressor currently, so I have to cut this out in order to get the chunks out. And then, of course, wire wheel it clean so I can paint it with some rust reformer. The floor supports on this side are not nearly as bad as that side. That side I had to actually get a piece from the Grand Wagoneer in the junkyard, as you guys saw in a previous video, and weld it in there. This side is just, it's kind of chunky over here, but it's still fine. See, that's chunky. Yeah, there's a couple holes here and there, but this is 1/8 steel, and this is just a floorboard support. It's not like the frame, and the frame, you can see the frame is perfect on this car in the front and the middle and stuff. There's nothing wrong with the frame on this, so I don't care about this chunky stuff. You clean it up, paint it with rust reformer, and it'll be fine. The only problem with the floorboard support is the body mount right here, and the body mount had a hole right here, and it had some thin metal with some holes right here, and same with this side on this side, and same with over here. To be honest, cutting this whole section off and this section and right here is just, it's too much of a pain in the ass, especially when I don't have a donor piece. So what I did was I just cut out the sides, right here, and this part right here where the plate is, and I just put a plate over it. So there's no bottom down here, actually. The bottom is this, because I cut it all out. So there's a 1/8 plate here, a 1/8 plate here, 1/8 plate here, and a little plate right here, and I just welded it to the floor support, and then I welded it to, the body mount right here. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And the only problem is I had to be careful because the body mount is rubber, and it did catch on fire a couple times, and it's a little soft on the top right now, but it is what it is. I don't really care. It's done. I just need to clean that up and paint it, and nobody's ever going to see this again, and it's probably never going to rust again because, like I said, I cut it out and I just welded a plate on there, and once the rust reformer gets on there, it's really never going to rust again if you keep it clean. So anyway, floors are out. Like I said, I cut out all the stuff. I'm probably going to cut this last little piece up here off. It's just too chunky to leave. You know what I mean? This is all cut out up here. Inside of here is not nearly as bad as the passenger side. The rocker floor is still there. There's no holes. There's no chunks. That chunky rust is from, the outer panel. I do have to cut right here down over because this is too thin, and then I just need to vacuum this stuff out inside of here, paint it, and then put a patch panel over top of it, and then put the floors in. Now this Jeep does have a true dual exhaust. Somebody put it on here within the 50 years of this Jeep's life. This is actually an exhaust pipe. It's not a drive shaft. So the exhaust pipe is a straight pipe from the manifold over here all the way straight across here. And there is no catalytic converter on a 76. The 76 has no charcoal canister, it has no catalytic converter, it has no air pump, it has no emission stuff whatsoever other than an EGR valve, and that's it. So it goes all the way here to a muffler. It's like a round muffler. It's almost like a glass pack, it looks like. And the tailpipe comes out on the bottom of the frame down there. And it's the same on this side. The muffler comes over here, and it comes in the back, and it comes down on the frame out the side. It's actually really cool, and it's perfect because I've always wanted like a true dual exhaust on these Jeeps, because from factory they come with a Y pipe, and the Y pipe would meet over here and then come out the back of the truck. So I imagine this exhaust is extremely free-flowing compared to my Grand Wagoneer, and on top of that I decoded the VIN on this Jeep, and it actually came with the 195 horsepower AMC 360. There was a 175 and a 195 back in the 70s, or the mid to early 70s. Mine is the 195 horsepower version, and I think in 78 or 79 when they came out with catalytic converters and then the air pumps and the charcoal canisters and all that other stuff, the horsepower dropped significantly to what my Grand Wagoneer has, which is 145 horsepower. So this engine has like 60 horsepower more than my Grand Wagoneer does, and I imagine the torque is much higher too. The torque on the Grand Wagoneer is 280 foot-pounds. This one's probably much higher. And on top of that, without having all the emission stuff, the compression on this engine obviously has to be higher, which is why the horsepower is higher. So this engine is definitely a better engine than the Grand Wagoneers, which is completely smogged, and the compression is lowered on it and all that stuff. So anyway, one thing I wanted to show you guys before the video ends, and I just kind of realized this, the doors on this thing, they open so far. Like, for example, a normal car, the door would open like maybe to there. You know what I mean? That's like a kind of normal thing, you know, so they don't swing all the way open. Now watch this thing. It opens all the way. I mean, look at that. Completely all the way open. The passenger side does that too. And I did some research, and apparently the older full-size Jeeps, the hinges will allow the doors to swing all the way open, and then in the later years they changed that. I guess it was a safety feature to change that, so you know, if you're getting out of your car on the street, your door is not like way open and you get hit by a car or you smack your car into somebody else's door. Yeah, it's real squeaky. So, but that's really cool. I actually kind of like that feature to open up all the way like that. So, you know, if you're like 700 pounds, you can get in and out of the car easy. So anyway, I'm going to take a break. I'm probably done for tonight. Going to grab a drink. And before I'm done working on my vehicle and I'm done welding, I actually wait. Excuse me. I actually wait like 30 minutes or so. Make sure the welds are cool and there's nothing that's going to start a fire. Because I'm really paranoid about residual heat, you know, catching something on fire, and, you know, especially this whole barn being made of old wood, you know what I mean? So, even though there's a concrete floor down here, you never know, you know what I mean? So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and tomorrow I will probably be putting the floor in. Oh, and another thing, the only problem with this exhaust right here is you see the wires, they're sitting right on the exhaust, and also the fuel lines are on the frame rail right here. They're 4 inches away from that exhaust pipe. So there needs to be a shield, you know, like grabbing the frame to protect that, because that's just too close to the fuel lines. I'm not worried about the fuel blowing up or anything like that, but what I am worried about is the fuel vaporizing and causing like a vapor lock, you know what I mean? So that needs to be addressed. But I'll do that down the road. I just want the freaking floor in. I can do the shield underneath the car. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. Katie keeps zooming around. And you guys have a great night. Thank you.